Glad to have you back. It's the Business Daily right here on Trust Television. Now we're looking at a very, very critical topic, talking about the bread prices as it continues to rise, of course, due to the high cost of inputs there. The price has jumped over 10%, and of course, bread is a basic staple in many Nigerian homes. In fact, it is easily accessible than other kinds of food in every home that you go to, whether you're rich or poor. You indeed have bread depending on the make in your fridge. Of course, the industry has also created a lot of jobs for a lot of people. They've employed over 700,000 people directly or indirectly in that industry. Over the years, of course, undoubtedly, it has, of course, reduced the national unemployment rate as well. But that industry is facing a very difficult challenges right now as we speak due to the inflationary pressure and, of course, the policies of the government. Let's talk to one of the leader in that industry. His name is Ishaq Abdulraheem. He's the chairman of Abuja Master Bakers. He joins me right here in the studio. Good morning, Abdulraheem.
Good morning, my president.
It's a pleasure to have you here.
It's always my pleasure to be here.
Yes, thank you so much.
Yes.
Bread, like I did mention, is a very important delicacy around the world, not just in Nigeria alone. The consumption of this product is on a large scale. Talk to us, how has it been so far in the last 1 year for your industry?
In the last 3 years, it has never been easy. Nothing comes down. Prices kept going every day. Every day, I say. No single product. Maybe water, that is readily available. But every other index is increasing. I don't know.
How have you been able to manage to stay in business?
See, the truth of the matter is that we cannot stay seated, considering the number of people that are under our employment. We have to keep going despite the challenges. Even if we are not going to make profit, if we can sustain the business and be able to sustain our staff, I think that's the only thing we are doing. A lot of our members are agitating for an increase in price presently because all the prices of commodities we are using has never come down. Never has any come down. It kept increasing. I will tell you what happened last week. The last time I bought a carton of yeast, I bought it at 53,100. Now I went to buy last week, I bought it 61,500. Dano milk is 170, 180,000. So nothing is coming down. Nothing is coming down. And I want you to know something. Unfortunately, almost everything we are using is imported. Sugar is imported. Flour. Wheat is imported. Almost everything is imported. So I don't know. We have been in trouble since Russia-Ukraine started. That is the beginning of our problem.
Why are you not patronizing the locally made product?
Like what?
Like wheat? We have locally
produced
wheat.
The wheat comes. We know where are the end users. It is the millers.
There's Dangote flour.
It is millers that we buy wheat and process it. We don't know how they source for their wheat. Maybe they source it foreignly, but I think it's foreign because they have been making effort. Federal government, along with the millers, they have an association. They are trying to make effort to encourage local production. I think there's one they did a program in Jigawa, trying to boost the volume of wheat produced in Nigeria. But I don't think it has started yielding any because it just started.
Apart from wheat, there are other products that are used to make
cassava.
Bread, exactly.
Cassava.
Are you taking advantage of that?
Let me even tell you, 3 weeks ago, they are saying these people, AATF, Africans, I can't remember fully, AATF, they have a project in Oyo State. They brought their people here. We trained them on the usage of cassava. We included 20% of cassava in bread, and it worked. So I think what is happening is probably, right away, this issue is in the National Assembly, and I think it has passed the second reading to compel every miller to input cassava in the
bread production. I remember when President Jonathan was in power, he made an effort for us to develop the value chain of cassava, and part of his plan was to have cassava bread. I could recall cassava bread was launched at the time in Lagos and was tested by so many politicians at the time as well. Why is it that the bakers are not taking advantage of that? Is it that it's not readily available, or it's not as good as the wheat, or alternatively it takes time for you to be able to have access to it?
One thing is that bakers are always willing to key into it. Why? Because if we produce cassava, if Nigeria is the highest producer of cassava in the world, then why can't we use cassava instead of importing wheat completely? Even if it is 10% of cassava we are using to substitute for wheat, if we're going to save Nigeria billions of dollars, we are always willing. Bakers in Nigeria, not even in FCT now, bakers in Nigeria are waiting for that opportunity. Why? Because we are proud to be Nigerians. We want Nigeria to grow, and the only way we can grow our GDP is when we export, not rather than import. So Master Bakers, I'm talking now, I'm talking beyond FCT. I'm talking with the voice of my president at the national level. If cassava is included, we are always ready. We are willing to buy. Before,
or perhaps
there used to be what they call cassava. Sorry, it has a name.
Okay.
It has a name.
Okay, can go ahead.
Okay, I will remember.
Okay, go ahead.
Composite flour. They call it composite flour. That is a flour that has certain percentage of cassava. We all bought it, and we were using it, and we still want it. So let them bring it, we buy it. Apart from it now, potato is also used. We are using potato. Yes, in bread production.
Some people does use plantain.
We can use anything, but when we are talking of a larger scale, whereby a lot of people can produce it and then be able to put it, instead of 100% wheat, we can say 90% wheat, 10% cassava or potato.
Indeed. Engineer Abdulraheem, why I'm emphasizing on that local content is the fact that when we continue to rely on flour, which are not readily available here in Nigeria, indeed the price of bread will continue to rise. But when we begin to look at all these products, you made mention of potato, there's plantain, others also, we talk about cassava already, and so many other products that can indeed be harnessed for the industry. Don't you think, discussing or, training your members along that line will help, of course, keeping the price of bread, and of course, making it readily available for Nigerians. And of course, you also make profit as well as a businessman.
You know, the kind of bread we eat in Nigeria is a little bit different from what they eat in other parts of the world. In other parts of the world,
is it in terms of quality?
No. They don't expect the bread to rise like our own. They eat something like shawarma,
burger.
Not burger. Burger will see rice. Most of their bread, if you look at these Arabs and other African countries, their bread is so, it doesn't have to rise like, if you talk of croissant, if you talk of all this French bread, it doesn't require rising up like our own. We can use 100% cassava to produce that kind of bread. But because of our nature, we in Nigeria, we cannot eat such a bread. If you do such a bread for a family, they will not eat it. So that is why we cannot do cassava 100%. It has to be cassava inclusion with wheat. And wheat has to be a major player, not a minor player. It's the wheat, it's the cassava that has to be the minor. So that's the only way. Otherwise, we are perfect to go.
Indeed, like you said, you are very ready, and of course, I hope that the government will indeed key in to see how we can make cassava readily available for bakers. I think having a cassava bread would be a very good one for us to stand us out as a country. Probably we may even have to make some of our bread and of course export them to some of our neighboring countries.
Let me tell you the truth. if we produce that cassava inclusion in bread, until I tell you, you will never even
know that it's cassava.
You will not know that cassava is included. You will think it is purely wheat. It has nothing. The crust does not change. The taste does not change. Nothing. So we are good to go. We're just waiting for time.
But you're concerned about consumer changing their taste.
No, naturally. See, there are things when you don't see something, you adapt to what you have. It's adaptation. People, I say it is when I say to you that we have included cassava in this bread, otherwise you eat it without knowing. I gave it to a friend one time. I refused to tell him. He was telling me to please bring him more of this bread. I said, you are eating cassava bread. He didn't believe it. So there's nothing that will change out of it. The taste will not change. The texture will not change. Everything will be almost normal. So there's no reason for we Nigerians to say we will not use that cassava inclusion. There's no any side effect. And I think I went for a seminar. One of the professors from Ahmadu Bello University was telling us even the benefit of cassava in bread rather than wheat, that it has more advantage health-wise. I cannot I'm not a scientist. He analyzes scientifically. So those are the things. I think cassava is good for us. It's just for us to adapt to it, and there's not anything that happens.
All right, we'll continue to promote that, and of course see how we can indeed take advantage of cassava and develop the value chain in that industry. Let's also look at the challenges that you're facing with regards to surviving as an industry, government policies. And there's also they talk about charges on wheat importation, about 15% or more. How much of this is impacting on your business?
If there's tax on wheat importation, the flour millers will put whatever charge on top of the cost for them to break even. So that is why the prices of things are high. I think I've had the opportunity, we were in Ministry of Trade and Investment trying to plead with the government to reduce the tax on wheat importation so as to bring down the price of flour in the country. I think they are still on it. We have not had much from that anyway. So if that is done, I'm sure it might reduce. The other challenges we are having are probably the ones we cannot control. The price of petrol,
exchange rate.
Yes, exchange rate. I think the last time we increased price of bread in FCT here, we were buying 1 liter of petrol at 650 thereabout. Today,
so by 1,000.
Only today I learned it has come down, but at least it's still over 1,000 naira.
Yes. It's indeed very
How
high.
do we break even? It's very difficult, like I said. The price of diesel is not smiling as well. Now electricity as well has been graded, band A, band B, band C. And most of our members are in band A.
Electricity
band A, yes. You can't use, if there's no electricity, the use of generator is totally out of it. So it is very challenging. I'm telling you, our members are complaining every day. They want us to increase the price. But we are just looking at it from an angle that, number one, there's no money in circulation. People are suffering. If we now increase the price of bread, how will it be? So we have been talking to our members to please let us hold on and see. Let us assist the masses. Because increasing the price of bread today, it will be terrible for some people.
But your members are also complaining that there are so many gluts in the industry. There are so many bread producers in the industry, even those that are registered with NAFDAC and those that are not registered with NAFDAC. As a leader here in Abuja, how will you be able to identify the registered bread makers with NAFDAC and those non-registered? Because some say they can't make profit because there are too many bread makers.
Yes, let me give you one example. You know, Abuja is the center. Other neighboring states, Nasarawa comes here, Niger comes here, Kogi comes here, Kaduna comes here.
Even Benue. I've seen Abuja bread in Benue.
So, no, we go outside, but they also come inside because there are classes, class of breads.
Absolutely.
No, this class now, look at the
gap.
So the other ones that are coming, how do you control them? Let me even tell you this. They come in the night and move out of the city in the morning. You cannot even see them. So how do you catch the person you cannot see? But I think government are also doing, the NAFDAC are also doing their own homework. We have complained severally on these issues, and I think they are working on it with the expectation that they will remove all the unregistered, but not in Abuja. We don't have much of such complaints from Abuja. It's from outside Abuja. More so people that are coming in, and they don't come in the morning. When you go out in the morning, they are going back home and in the morning. They already come in the night and then go back in the morning. So that's the way it is.
Indeed. Let's talk about your relationship with raw material producers. Those that you buy raw material from. How do you relate with them? Because we understand that the price of many of your raw materials have increased by over 150%.
Sure.
How do you relate with them?
There's no way. When you go to market, you say you want to buy, and they say this is the new price. You look at it, like I said, if you say you will not produce, that is to say you are going to close the company. When you close the company, the people that are under you, you have to pity them. So they have to survive and their families. So we are almost doing charity now, because we don't want to close this industry. If we close, what will be remaining for us? And we don't want to give advantage to foreigners. Sure, you know, today, foreigners are coming to take over most of these ventures. And you know our mentality. When they come, they will put higher price, and people will see buy. Even sometimes our products are even better than their own.
Because of our quest for foreign things.
Our product can be better than their own, but you see people going there. So we have to stay the way we are. Not that we are happy about it, but we just have to stay. We don't have any option than to wait and see. Probably as time goes, government policy might change to our own advantage.
Indeed, we hope that does happen, so that Nigeria can indeed buy bread. Because today, for you to get a very good bread, you need at least between 1,500 to 2,000 naira there. Very huge one there as well. But let's also talk about what some of your members use in bread. Talking about potassium bromate, which is prohibited. How do you monitor this?
Number one, this is FCT, and this is where our jurisdiction starts and ends. You know, when they are saying bromate and saccharin, I kept imagining. It's an imagination, because you can't find it here, and there are reasons for it. We have an opportunity here. They see this flour millers, Olam. Olam has a training school in Abuja, sited in Abuja. In fact, we, the Master Bakers, are almost the one running we supply them with students from our factories. We only use their flour because they are giving us technical education on our businesses. So now any person that comes to register under Abuja Master Bakers it's a must, mandatory. You must go for this mandatory training for 1 week. And when you are there, there's nothing like bromate, there's nothing like saccharin. So how are you going to now use it? So most of our bakers in FCT are well trained. We don't have illiterates. We don't have illiterates in FCT. Bunch of registered members are highly educated. Some retired civil servants. Some are graduates that did not find job, like me, that did not find job and went into business. I can't use that. Neither can any educated person use it, because they know the implication. And like I said, where they are coming from is not FCT. If you look at the people producing bread in FCT, look at them. If you are opportune to see, look at them, look at their status. They are educated, highly educated.
Indeed. But how do you are heading Abuja? I'm sure there is also other person heading different states, maybe Niger, Kaduna, Kogi, and other places there. Do you interrelate with some of the leaders in those places?
No, we interrelate on issues, but we don't interrelate on how they treat their members. But we have always been inviting them to come and borrow a model from us. We are very organized in FCT. We are very, very organized. So in that process, we are telling anybody who cares to come and learn from us, because we don't give training levity. We do training so that every member will be abreast. And we have, if you look through all the social media, you will see Abuja Master Bakers.
Don't you think you need to set a standard, since you know that bread's coming from Niger, it's coming from Kogi, it's coming from Nasarawa, Kaduna, and other places, even as far as Benue? Don't you think you need to put a standard that, okay, if the bread that is coming to Abuja is not of this quality, it's not acceptable?
No, it's for a customer. It's for the customer to decide. Their bread can never be like nobody. It can't be like. So, sorry to say, I don't think I've gone to a bakery where they still use firewood. We have surpassed that. We have surpassed that in FCT. You go to where they use modern equipment, you don't even see firewood. Who is using firewood anymore? So you cannot, by the time you see the bread yourself, as a customer, you will decide now. So you can, if you say you should stop, how many people are you going to stop? But you as a customer, you are the determinant. If you see a good bread, the crust of a good bread is seen, you are seeing it. And when you carry it like this, I was telling somebody yesterday, carry a good bread, you will see, you will not see dirty, you will not see anything. You see NAFDAC number, you see everything clearly written.
The address of location and production.
Clearly written. Go and buy the other one. You will see some of the information, blood. You cannot even read it.
Well, is it that the bakers in Abuja cannot produce enough for the Abuja markets?
No.
It's not enough because when breads are coming from all these places, we are not having glut, like redundant bread that are being thrown away. It probably means maybe the bakers in Abuja are not producing enough for the Abuja market.
Remember, there are classes. Classes of people. Higher class, middle class,
lower class,
and even lower. Everybody will buy the kind of bread he wants to eat.
All right. Indeed, everybody will buy the kind of bread that they want to eat, despite the challenges in the economy. They have managed to remain in business and, of course, produce some bread for us to eat.
Thank you.
Of course, we hope that as we enter the next year, the price of things will begin to come down. Since the president is targeting inflation number at 15%. I must thank you for your time. Engineer Ishaq Abdulraheem is the chairman, Abuja Master Bakers. I thank you for your time again.
Thank you very much. Thank you for inviting me too.
All right. With that is a wrap on the show today. We'll be back again on Monday. I am Yusuf Akobu.